Hello, the students. My name is Bankeswar Panigrahi, faculty, BCA department, Chikati Mahavidyalaya. In our previous classes, we have discussed about different types of computer networks. Today we go to our next topic, a new topic that is called time division multiple access, or in shortly we can say that TDMA process. Okay, so the topic is time division multiple access, or we can say it TDMA. Okay. It is one of the accessing method. So this is the diagrammatic representation of TDMA. So here we will discuss how the TDMA works and what is the advantages as well as disadvantages of TDMA. So in TDMA, the stations or the devices shares the bandwidth of a channel in time, or we can say that a common communication channel or a common bandwidth of a transmission medium or channel can be shared by different numbers of stations those are connected to that transmission medium or communication channel. Okay, so here the major part in this topic TDMA is time slot. That means each station or device that is connected to the transmission medium is allocated a time slot during which it can send the data. If the time slot will expire or finish, then the control will automatically transfer to the next station that is connected to the transmission medium. Okay, so this is the main working flow or working structure of the TDMA process or time division multiple access method. Okay, so another point is each station transmits data in its assigned time slot. As I have told, if the time slot will expire, then the control will automatically pass to the next station. Okay, so how the control will pass and which station is allotted the time slot, after which station, these are defined on the priority basis. Okay, in the priority basis. So what is that? Multiple system can access the communication channel at a different interval of time in a priority basis. As I've told, multiple systems can access the communication channel at a different interval of time in a priority basis. Priority means here the highest priority will pass first the message, and next the control will pass to the next lower priority, and then the next lower priority, and so on. Okay, we go through the notes about time division multiple access. In TDMA, the bandwidth of a channel is divided among various stations on the basis of time, as I have told you. Here, each station is allocated a time slot during which it can send its data. That means whatever may be the time slot that is given to a system or a device that is connected to the transmission medium, within that time slot or within that time it can send its data. That is, each station can transmit its data in its allocated time slot only. Okay. TDMA, each station must know the beginning of its slot and the location of its slot. That means each and every station must know where the time slot begins and where the time slot expires. The two times must be allotted by the station or each and every station. Next, TDMA requires synchronization between different stations. So, how the synchronization is achieved? That is given. Synchronization is achieved by using some synchronization bits that are called as preamble bits at the beginning of each slot. That means whenever a message can be transmitted, then that message has the first bit called preamble bit, and where the preamble bit founds, that is the beginning of the message, and from there it is synchronized and it will pass to the receiver station. Okay. So synchronization is achieved by using some synchronization bits that are called preamble bits at the beginning of each slot. Okay. So next, so TDM is a, so what is TDM? So TDM means time division multiplexer. So TDM is a physical layer technique that combines the data from slower channels and transmits them by using a faster channel. The process uses physical multiplexer. So what is the function of physical multiplexer here? So the function of physical multiplexer is it receives the slower channels data and it transmits it in a faster manner by using some faster channels. Okay. So this is the process where it is used in TDM. Okay. In our last sessions or in our previous sessions, we have already discussed about TDM, WDM and FDM. So these are called as the communication processors which may use the multiplexer and demultiplexer to combining the data and split the data at the both ends, sender end as well as receiver end. Okay, so what is the next point here? Multiple system can access the communication channel at a different interval of time in a priority basis. As I have told that here, another important thing is priority basis. That means each and every stations, those are connected to the transmission medium or communication channel, they have already assigned a priority and they are arranged according to the priority basis, and as per their priority basis they may also allocated time slot to transfer the data and access the medium to transfer the data from one location to another location. Okay, so what is the next point? In TDMA, a system which is having the highest priority is called as primary system, which controls the data flow between sender and receiver. That means here, who may send the message first? Who will have the highest priority system, that is called as primary system, which may send the message first, and it controls the total data flow between the sender and receiver in a TDMA process. Okay, so next point is to transfer the data, the secondary device make a request and send to primary side to alert the communication channel to make the communication. What is that? To transfer the data, the secondary device, that means in the receiver side, the secondary device make a request and send to primary side. That means before it is sent to the secondary side, the secondary device first make a request to the primary side that I have free, and if you want to send some data, then you may send. After that request is received by the primary side, then the primary side starts to send the data towards the receiver side. That is the point here. To transfer the data, the secondary device make a request and send to primary side to alert the communication channel to make the communication. So because here all our systems, they are connected to a single transmission medium, or in other words we can say that a single transmission medium is shared by the number of devices those are connected to the transmission medium. Okay, so this is also called as pooling and selection method. The pooling and selection method we have discussed, we will discuss in our coming classes. Okay, so for the time you will also acquainted that the transfer the data to the secondary device make a request. That means the secondary device request to the primary side to alert the communication channel to make the communication. Okay, so how the communication is going on? or what is the communication process? Exchanging or sharing some information between the two sides, that is sender side and receiver side, or the primary side as well as secondary side. Okay, so we go through the next point. It depends upon the priority of secondary system. The primary system provides communication channel to secondary system for one time slot. Why the primary system provides communication channel to secondary system? Because here the primary system, which is having the highest priority, will control the total data flow in the transmission medium. That's why it depends upon the priority of secondary system. That means who have the next second priority, the primary system provides that system to the communication channel for one time slot. Okay, for one time slot. After the time slot is expires, as I have told that after the time slot is expires, the next system, sorry, this is a print mistake here, the next system on the priority queue is given the chance to the communication channel for another amount of time slot. That means if the station which is having the highest priority is using the time slot, and after the completion of the time slot, or after the completion of the highest priority system's time slot, the time slot is given to the next highest priority station to start communication with another system. Okay, so this is a continuing process. And next point is TDMA is different from TDM. Okay, so what is that? TDMA is different from TDM. Why? Because TDM is processor, and here TDMA is a accessing method. Okay, so TDMA is different from TDM, but they are conceptually same. But there is a difference between them is, as we have discussed in our previous slides, that TDM, we know that it is a physical layer technique that combines the data from slower channel and transmits them by using a faster channel. So this is the process of TDM, and the process uses a physical multiplexer that interleaves data units from each channel. And what the TDMA do? The TDMA, it is a, as I have told that it is a accessing method. It is used in data link layer. In data link layer, each station tells its physical layer to use the allocated time slot, and there is no physical multiplexer at the physical layer. But in case of TDM, we use a physical multiplexer in physical layer. Okay, that's why it is given the point. TDMA is different from TDM, although they are conceptually same, but there is a difference between them. Is TDM is, we know, it is a physical layer technique that combines the data from slower channels and transmits them by using a faster channel. The process uses a physical multiplexer that interleaves data units from each channel. What is the function of physical multiplexer here? The function of physical multiplexer is it combines the data from slower channels and transmits them by using a faster channel. Okay. On the other hand, TDMA is a access method in the data link layer, and the data link layer in each station tells its physical layer to use the allocated time slot. So there is no physical multiplexer at the physical layer. Okay. So next we may go to the advantages of TDMA. So here are some advantages. We may go through one by one. So first is permits flexible rates. That means several slots can be assigned to a user. For example, each time interval translates 32 kbps, kilobyte per second. A user is assigned to 64 kbps slots per frame. That means how the frames transfer process, it is given here, or the translation process is given here. That is, several slots can be assigned to a user. For example, each time interval translates at 32 kbps. A user is assigned to 64 kbps slots per frame. Okay. The next advantage is it can withstand or variable bitrate traffic. That means number of slots allocated to a user can be changed frame by frame. For example, if 2 slots in the frame 1, 3 slots in the frame 2, or 1 slot in the frame 3, frame 0 of the notches 4, etc. That means if we are using frames, if we are using the frames which is having different types of slots, then the transmission process or the bit transmission process is quite complicated, and the traffic is also complicated to control the total system or total frames transmission, because here we are using a single transmission medium. That's why if we are using the same frames, then it is quite easy to transfer the frames. But if the frames are having different slots, then it is quite complicated to control the traffic flow in the transmission medium. Okay. Next one is no guard band required for the wideband system. So here no protection, that means no guard band required for the wideband system. And the next is no narrowband filter required for the wideband system. Okay. So next one is the disadvantages of TDM. So what are the disadvantages here? Some of the disadvantages are given below. High data rates of broadband systems requires complex equalization. Because why it is needed complex, why it is complex equalization? Because a single transmission medium or a single bandwidth of a transmission medium can be shared by different systems. That's why if the data rate is high, the broadband systems require complex equalization. Okay. Next one is, due to the burst mode, a large number of additional bits are required for synchronization and supervision, as we have discussed about the preamble bit and many other bits that are used for synchronization and supervision in this transmission mode or accessing mode, because the number of systems are used in a communication process, but the bandwidth is single one. So next one is, call time is needed in each slot to accommodate time to inaccuracies, because due to clock instability, because here time slot is given to each and every system, and within that time slot they should transfer their messages to their destination end. But if once the time slot will expire, then it will wait until again it gives back to the control to transmit the messages. Okay, so that's why call time is needed in each slot to accommodate time to inaccuracies, because due to clock instability. Okay. What is the next point? Electronics operating at a high bit rates increase energy consumption. Okay. So here more energy will be consumed because electronics operating at high bit rates, that's why it increases the energy consumption. Next one is, complex signal processing is required to synchronize within short slots. That means complex signal processing is required to synchronize within short slots. Okay, so this is all about the time division multiple access. So it is shortcutly known as TDMA. And what is the concept here? Here, a common bandwidth of a transmission medium or a communication channel is shared among different among the different systems. And another important point is there, the system which is having the highest priority will allocate the time slot first, and it will jump until the time slot will expire. It will uses the data flow and transmit the messages. After the time slot will expire, it will given back to the control to the next priority system. Okay, so the process will continue till the end. And another important point is there, in TDMA the highest priority system controls the total data flow within the transmission medium or within the communication channel. So I hope you will understand all this. So this is all about TDMA process. Thank you.